This is All India Radio, Trichrapalli. In our program of English, we bring you a talk titled Human Values in Shakespeare by Dr. Papu Benjamin Illango.
Human values are the guiding principles immensely helpful in judging the goodness or badness of human conduct and character. They are the parameters gauging one's correctness of character and behavior. They culminate from our conscience or the sense of right and wrong. In this 21st century, humanity is blinking at the crossroads of values and counter-values. Humanity is facing dire consequences at the hands of moral turpitude, acrimony at the personal and social levels, apathy over the welfare of the fellow beings, including the flora and the fauna, fundamentalism and extremism in the name of religion, race, gender, and caste. At this juncture of total confusion, chaos, and pandemonium, William Shakespeare, the world-renowned dramatist and poet, offers the much-needed guidance through the characters of his comedies, tragedies, historical plays, tragicomedies, and romances. As Ben Jonson states, he was not of an age, but for all time. As such, Shakespeare's plays are timeless. They serve humanity as the genial fountains of virtuous human values, never to be drained. The downfall of Hamlet is caused by his procrastination. The fate of King Lear is sealed by misjudgment. The end of Macbeth hastened by his vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself. The monstrous jealousy takes away the life of Othello. Marcellus, in the play Hamlet, succinctly sums up the dire consequences of the murder of the King of Denmark and the ensuing adultery of Claudius, the brother of Hamlet's father. Marcellus states, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Hamlet is exhorted by the ghost of his dead father to take revenge on Claudius, who committed the most unnatural murder. Thus Hamlet, the young gentleman of noble virtues, is in a psychic turmoil when he expresses the burden of his duty as a prince of Denmark. He says, the time is out of joint, O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. The strong belief of Hamlet that he is born to set right hideously abnormal conditions drives him to succumb under the duty of restoring the morale of the state of Denmark. But his weakness of delaying causes the bitter confusion in his mind. In his soliloquy, we listen to Hamlet's indecisiveness, thus, to be or not to be. That's a question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of the outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles. At last, he kills a king, but being wounded by the poisonous sword of letters, Hamlet dies, expressing his agony to Horatio, absent thee from felicity a while, and in the harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. King Lear, worn out with age and the burden of administration, being more than 80 years old, wants to divide his kingdom of Britain among his 3 daughters, Gondrel, Regan, and Cordelia. But the fickle-minded king chooses, unfortunately, the method of dividing the portions of the country solely based on the open declaration of his daughter's affection for him. The first 2 married daughters, so villainous in their minds and hearts, are able to cheat the king by their false declarations of the flattery of their love to their father. But poor Cordelia, a honest and the youngest daughter, stands for the truth and tells, unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. Allow, your majesty, according to my bond, no more nor less. Lear expecting a lot from the most loved by him, now feeling humiliated, banishes loyal Cordelia from the kingdom. At last the protagonist, King Lear's lack of common sense and boundless anger pave the way for his own end and that of Cordelia and others. Othello, the play, exhibits the consequences of racism, love, jealousy, betrayal, revenge, and repentance. The archetypal villain Iago manifests the devildom and its malignity in this world. Othello, the hero, is a black Moor, dark-skinned, who loves and marries the beautiful white Venetian Desdemona. It ultimately proves to be a mismatch, ending in tragedy. Believing Iago, a villain of sinister designs, exploiting the episode of handkerchief, gladly proclaims his evilish nature thus, "I am not what I am," shows that the fate of good persons like Othello is to believe only such dastardly sadists like Iago, the devil incarnate. The hero, Macbeth, believes the words of the witches, who boisterously declare with a boiling cauldron, "Fair is foul and foul is fair," hover through the fog and filthy air, and mesmerize the vainglorious Macbeth with their seductive prophecies, ensuring his kingship of Scotland. The cruel lady Macbeth, who wants to taste the comforts and glory of power, goads Macbeth to kill Duncan, the king, who is their royal guest. Thereafter, Macbeth's vaulting ambition takes a toll of many innocent lives, turning him into a hardcore, treacherous murderer. Shakespeare brings out the agony of Lady Macbeth's tormented soul in despair, being instrumental in killing her father like Duncan. She laments, "Here is a smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand." The remorseful state of Lady Macbeth is Shakespeare's warning to all the cold-blooded murderers, avaricious of usurping others' possession and property. Hamlet, the good soul, full of human kindness and concern, wonders at the glory and superiority of humankind. He exclaims at first, but returns to his pessimism at last. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason! How infinite in faculty! In form and moving, how express and admirable! In action, how like an angel! In apprehension, how like a god! The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? In As You Like It, through Jacques, Shakespeare profoundly brings forth the falsehood of daily life, enacted by everybody in one's own way, sometimes with many parts too, in the drama of life on the stage called the world. Jacques says, all the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits as their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. In Twelfth Night, Malvolio, saying about the three ways of becoming great in the worldly life, sums up Shakespeare's vision of power and glory. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. In Macbeth, Macbeth draws the picture of the meaningless life in total despair. He laments, "It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing." In Romeo and Juliet, Juliet strongly argues that it does not matter that Romeo is from her rival's house of Montague, that he is named Montague. Shakespeare shows how pure love transcends the barriers of enmity and social divisions. Juliet quips, "What's in a name? A rose by any name would smell as sweet." In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare, through the character Lysander, manifests the harsh reality the true lovers have to confront even in our 21st century. The course of true love never did run smooth. In Henry IV, Part 2, Shakespeare, through the golden saying of the King Henry IV, unravels the actuality of the onerous suffering of a leader, which is unavoidable. He confirms, uneasy lies the head that bears the crown. In King Lear, the frustrated soul of Lear speaks out of self-obsessed pity, speaks thus, I am a man more sin against than sinning. Shakespeare shows the victim's helpless cry at the hands of cruel circumstances and merciless fate. In Merchant of Venice, in the Venetian court of justice, Portia pleads for mercy to save Antonio from the sharp knife of the cruel Shylock. Through Portia, Shakespeare vividly manifests the magnanimity of mercy and its heavenly blessing. Thus, the quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It's twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. In All's Well that ends well, the Countess proposes the comprehensive understanding of one's worldly character and conduct, governed by love and reason. She advises LaFou thus, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Thus, Shakespeare offers his counseling and guidance through the good and the bad characters, the do's and don'ts of human life, respectively. His manifestation of the eternal human values is a beacon light of mature wisdom to navigate the troubled humanity to the safe shores of love and peace.
You just heard a talk titled Human Values in Shakespeare by Dr. Papu Benjamin Illango. This broadcast came to you from All India Radio, Trichinopalli.